When I talk about tacos, a similar image probably comes to everyone's mind. There might be some differences. Some might think of hard shells, others might think of soft tortillas. Some might think of the tacos their parents made for them, others might think of tacos from their favorite restaurant, or maybe authentic street tacos. But for the most part, a similar image appears in our minds. When I think of taco, I think of Taco Bell. I've lived in the same city for my whole childhood up until college, and I always had a Taco Bell 3 minutes from my house. As a child, I wasn't a fan. I thought my palate was far too refined for such cheap food. But as I started high school, my friends and I began to frequently visit the restaurant. Slowly, Taco Bell became my favorite place to go. Upon spending most of my time there, I came to an important realization. Taco Bell deserves recognition for being one of the all-time best restaurants and the perfect hangout place. One of the many reasons Taco Bell is so great is the cheap prices. The fact my friends and I could get plenty of food for cheap made it the perfect place for us to spend every afternoon. A meal for me and my friends would cost under $5 when it would cost us around $7 to $10 at somewhere else like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. To a bunch of teenagers working for minimum wage, the dollar menu was like a banquet at a 5-star restaurant. Another thing unique to Taco Bell was their vegetarian and vegan options. Most restaurants only had 1 or 2 options available for my vegetarian friend, which made picking out a place to eat really difficult. But at Taco Bell, we could always rely on them being able to make almost anything on the menu vegetarian for her. I know a lot of vegetarians are grateful to Taco Bell for having these options available when other restaurants do not. Another thing that makes Taco Bell so great is how late they are open. The one in my hometown usually stayed open till about 2 a.m., which made it the perfect place for my night owl friends. I have many fun memories of going through the drive-thru late at night and then sitting on the roof of my friend's car, sipping Baja Blast and looking at the stars. A lot of people have memories and sentimental feelings tied to places and objects. It might be weird to have feelings tied to a place like Taco Bell, but due to the circumstances like the cheap food, it was very appealing to us teenagers. I ended up having a lot of small, beautiful moments there that I'm grateful for, and I'll remember those feelings every time I go there. Taco Bell never really changes. That is, aside from the seasonal flavors and the occasional menu changes, but for the most part, I could go anywhere in America and enter a restaurant identical to the one in my hometown. I'm grateful for that. A lot of my friendships from high school have ended, and even if I talked to those people, it wouldn't be the same as when we shared nachos together years ago. Even though I can never return to those old memories, I can always return to Taco Bell and find familiarity in a cheesy, crunchy taco. When I graduated high school, I moved away from my hometown for the first time in my life. I expected to be easy, and I took all the little comforts for granted, but it was actually really hard. I still clearly remember the rush of familiarity when I walked into a Taco Bell for the first time in the new city. Even though I could never have the experiences from my adolescence back, I could always rely on Taco Bell to never really change. I can rely on it to remind me of those old friendships and all those little moments that made my childhood happy and fun. Taco Bell never really changes, and that's why it hasn't ended up being a graveyard for all my sentimental memories. Cheap food and being open late is great for high school students, but it's absolutely perfect for college students and making new friendships and new memories. I remember the first time my college roommate confessed that she had never had Taco Bell before. We raced to the restaurant to pick up food, and I had the honor of buying her first Crunchwrap Supreme. When I transferred colleges and had to start all over again, my new apartment roommate asked if we could grab some late night Taco Bell. My boyfriend drove us to the restaurant, and we sat in his car listening to those old songs from back when we were sophomores in high school, with the new dragon fruit freeze in one hand and our other dangling out the window, letting the warm summer air grace our fingertips as we drove through the streets of our new home. I'm grateful for Taco Bell and how it never really changes. I'm grateful for all the old memories and the new. I'm grateful for Baja Blast, and I'm grateful for how, despite my life has changed, Taco Bell remains the same. That's it. Thank you.